I can think of some of these that we definitely have in common, though.
Maybe starting with the Beast class and Alien Ooze?
No, actually. I picked Nibble.
Oh, okay.
Alien Ooze does one thing, and it's really, really good at it, which is being a hard removal spell for 3 most of the time. But Nibble kind of does a lot of stuff. Nibble can gain you life. Nibble can snipe Navy beams. Nibble can help you win trades. All right, now there were a bunch of options in Brainy. What'd you pick for Brainy?
I picked Beam Me Up.
I picked Chimney Sweep. The one cost 3/2 that is just like so good at absolutely smashing them in the face. 2 of the zombie decks that new players are going to be drawn to really early on is the Throwing Star Imp, Smoke Bomb, Move Your Dudes Around deck. Chimney Sweep is really good at that. And the like hyper efficient the Rust Bolt Sports deck. And that Chimney Sweep is really good in that too.
I suppose giving a Super Brains player more turn 1 options than Paparazzi and Mini Ninja is a good thing. While Chimney Sweep is a phenomenal turn 1 play, I think turn 2 Beam Me Up is the best play zombies have, followed closely by pretending you have Beam Me Up. I just love the freedom of teleporting in something at that point in the game. It can help take out so many big threats like Punish Shroom or Double Mint or Lily of the Valley or just any number of things can swoop right in, punish it. It takes out a Solar Winds to neutralize that.
We probably picked the same thing for Crazy, given that you get the Bungee Plumber as a freebie.
I don't know. I went kind of out there with mine.
What'd you pick?
I picked the Space Ninja.
Oh, I picked Unlife of the Party.
For doing any kind of swarmy thing, yep.
One of the decks that made me really fall in love with the game was the Dancing Boogaloo, because like one of the best payoff finishers in the basic set, I think, is the Flamenco Zombie.
I went with Space Ninja because of the one combination of playing a Space Ninja in some environment and then giving it deadly with a Barrel of Barrels. You can only do this as Infinity, but I think it's so good to have that kind of cheap, deadly field clear for a bunch of uncommon cards is a really good thing to put into a young deck to play above your weight class.
Foreshadowing the fact that we probably both picked Barrel of Barrels for the sneaky one.
Yep.
Let's just go out and say that right now.
Yep, Barrel of Fun.
So I think that we probably picked a different one for Hardy, mostly because I did not pick Arm Wrestler. What did you pick?
I picked the Middle Manager.
That's the one I picked. Oh, look at that.
All right.
The thing that you really want is the Conjure Professional. There are like a huge number of professionals randomly peppered into the uncommon rarity. You kind of start with a professional deck almost immediately.
Also gives you a chance to get cards that are above the quality that you own. Like every time I conjure a Kitchen Sink zombie off of it or a mixed up Gravedigger, I feel like I'm getting away with something. Speaking of conjuring cards that players don't have, my rare pick for Sneaky is the Buried Treasure.
Oh, so we're just going to blow past Barrel of Barrels already, like completely?
I mean, what else do we need to say about it? Like we've
no way to go wrong with 4 copies of Barrel of Barrels. It'll be the best 200 sparks you ever spent.
So what'd you pick for your Sneaky rare?
Buried Treasure. We were the same.
Yeah, it's great. So happy that it's as good as I thought it looked when I first saw it.
Conjuring a legendary card means you get to do all kinds of weird crap, and the fact that it's stapled onto a 1-mana 2/2 is extremely good.
My Hardy pick for rare to craft is the Zombie Coach.
I picked Sumo Wrestler.
Both, once again, going with the idea of making a free-to-play sports deck. These are both core component cards. And why did you go with Sumo Wrestler?
I went with Sumo Wrestler because it's good early and it's good late.
So the reason I went with the Coach is because when I was playing my free-to-play Smash and had kind of a half a sports package in there, I never actually opened any Sumo Wrestlers. Was still doing pretty good with that. I like the Coach as a follow-up to Mascot Imp, which it is a basic card. And it's a 1/4 that gets 1/1 bigger every turn. And even if it didn't boost the other sports stuff on the field, if it just boosted itself 1/1 every turn, it would still be incredible. But the fact that you can follow that up with a Coach to make both of them immune for another turn is a way to really secure yourself a lot of games. My crazy rare, I'm going with the Gizzard Lizard.
I went with Final Mission. Not only is it a great card, even though it costs 2 now, it's less useful as just a spell now because cost 2 really is a non-trivial amount to pay. But it's a great teaching card for, hey, doing damage to opponent's face is like the important thing to do in the late game of an aggro deck game as well.
My pick for the crazy rare card to craft is the Gizzard Lizard, the 3-mana 3/3 monster zombie, where if you evolve it on something, it'll do 2 damage to everything on your opponent's field. I really like this card over Chickening, which is a 4-mana trick that does the same thing, because things that fire at the start of your turn screw up with what plant had planned for their turn is really powerful. Stuff that does bonus attacks at the start of the turn are really powerful. And so, like, a big field clear before they can turn all their stuff into pine clones or whatever is a big help. And with the cheap decks, you're going to be running a lot of cheap creatures anyway, so you'll have plenty of stuff you can use to power this up. And coming up on the end of the list here, we got my Brainy pick for a rare card to craft. And I'm going with the Helicopter, the 6-mana trick that will summon a 6/5 helicopter. Because of how well it works with all of Super Brain's bonus attack stuff, they can have this big, huge beat stick to come in there and attack for 6 and then bonus attack for 6 again.
I picked the Cosmic Scientist, mostly because A, you get to see cards that you don't own, which is fun, and B, something that new players often really like to do is to buff stuff. It's really fun to put pants on your creature. New players have access to a pretty good stable of buffs. Cosmic Scientist is one of the best ways to put the buffs on. And what did you pick for your final beastly card?
I have the Squirrel Herder.
So do I.
Okay. Really good metagame pick.
Yeah, even if berries do eventually get nerfed, it's unlikely that you will stop seeing them in large proportion on the ladder because they just work so well for linear tribal stuff. There's pretty much no way to do better than it. Strawberry and Sergeant Strongberry just have so much power in them that not only killing those, but disrupting the early berries.
But it also serves as a powerful tool against Pecanolith and a Mirror Nut and Sporticus, and Wingnut is another one that's really hard to deal with. If you're up against a berry deck and you've got that Squirrel Herder, you want to hold on to it because ideally you want to use that to eat a Sergeant Strongberry and not have it kill like a High Voltage Current or a Shelf Mushroom.